Hi everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to another What Up exclusive. If you're new to the channel, you don't know what we do here. We cover Wheel of Time show news, but I always find it more fun to break news than just covering it. So we'll talk about anything from the official stuff from the production team, Sony and Amazon, all the way up to and including rumors and leaks and everything in between, and occasionally I get the odd exclusive like today's video. So if you like that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are trying to hit 20,000 subscribers prior to the release of Season 2 on September 1st. We get the first 3 episodes that day, and there's going to be a ton of videos here in the channel breaking everything down. You're not going to want to miss it. Now, if you like exclusives, if you like Wheel of Time information, I also have a couple of more exclusives coming out in the coming weeks. So prior to the release of Season 2, I'm going to have a few more things for you folks. And let's just say you're going to want to be subscribed because you're not going to want to miss them. Now, at this point, we normally give some sort of a spoiler warning because we do talk about elements of the show and the books, but we're going to do things just a little bit differently today. I'll talk about the actress and her role in a very spoiler-free fashion, then I'll give my spoiler warning, and we'll dive more into the character and how they're going to fit into the show because this actress's character is inherently spoilery when it comes to the book series and likely for the show as well. Alright, so this is Olumide Orifemi. She is a London-based actress that recently graduated from the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts. That was in 2022 with a Bachelor of Arts Honours in Professional Acting. Now, she's done a ton of stage work, but she can also be seen in Venom, Let There Be Carnage as Young Shriek. Now, the Wheel of Time role she's been cast to, in my opinion, is likely going to be her breakout role because it's a fairly substantial and important role for a large number of the books, so she'll likely be in the show for quite some time. Now, she's going to be playing Ispan Shafar. Ispan is an Aes Sedai of the Blue Aja from Terabon and is first introduced in The Dragon Reborn. Now, she's pretty important to Nynaeve, Elaine, and Egwene's storylines at various points throughout the book series, and she does stay for a fair number of books. Now, I can't get into too much more about the character without giving spoilers for both the books and the series, so spoiler warning. For the rest of the video, we'll be talking about Ispan Shafar and how she fits into the books, as well as how she may fit into the show. So if you have not read the first 11 books, yes, that's the first 11 books of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, that's the Eye of the World all the way up to and including A Knife of Dreams, and have not seen the first season of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show, streaming right now on Prime Video, episodes 1 through 8, be forewarned, I'm going to ruin major plot points and character arcs from both of those mediums throughout the rest of this video. Alright, so at this point, you either don't care about spoilers or you've read the books. Either way, we're going to give a little refresher on Ispan's history in the series, and then we'll talk about how I think she's going to fit into the show and how this works with the filming schedule and whatnot. So Ispan was first introduced in The Dragon Reborn as one of the Black Aja that fled the Tower with Liandrin. Now, when they fled, they stole a bunch of Terra Angriel that were called Sleepweavers that were attuned to dreaming. Now, when they fled, or after they fled rather, they met up with one of the Chosen, Malkidian, and she sent Pheolin as well as Ispan, not really on a wild goose chase, but sort of on a journey to find objects of power. She wanted Angriel and Sangreal to give her an edge not only over the Force of Light, but also over the other Chosen. Now, during their travels to find these objects of power, they met up with Nynaeve Almira in Ebu Dar. Now, Nynaeve and Ispan fought. Nynaeve ended up shielding and capturing her and kind of like holding her in the Terrasen Palace for some time. Now, at that point, Adelius and Vandene Sedai questioned Ispan for quite some time, and then they all went onwards to Caemlyn. About 2 days before they hit Caemlyn, both Adelius and Ispan were drugged with Crimson Thorn tea, which ended up in their deaths. Now, at the time it was suspected another Black Aja member drugged them in order to hide the secret of their identity. We won't really talk much more about that. That's her history in the book series either way. But how is she going to fit it into the show? Now, what we know is that Ispan shows up in Season 3. And Season 3 is supposed to be centered around the Shadow Rising, the 4th book in the series. Now, it isn't to say that they won't take elements from book 5, 6, 7, or beyond and kind of cram them into Season 3 as well. We just know that Rafe Judkins has said that Season 3 will center around the Shadow Rising. So we'll get the Battle of the Two Rivers and a few other things as well. But we don't really know how far Ispan's storyline is going to go. Likely we'll see her flee from the tower and steal some of the Terran Grail. I wowould like to think that she's going to meet Malkidian at some point or another because Malkidian, in my opinion, is one of the more important Forsaken, and I really want to see her on screen. She's a huge following in the fandom. She's absolutely horribly evil, but she's important to a number of different storylines in the book series, which I think should translate to the show. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some Forsaken that, in my opinion, can be cut with little to no consequences. Agenor Bathamel, probably already cut. Ravin, I think he can be cut with almost little to no consequence because I don't even know if they're going to do the Morghese storyline because that's That's a fairly lengthy, long storyline to do with Caemlyn, and we're not even going to see Caemlyn until season 3. So my guess is we'll see 1 to 2 new Forsaken introduced every season, right up until the final season, when they're going to center around the end of the series, like the last battle and whatnot. So I think we'll likely see Ispan probably hunting for the objects of power in season 3. We'll likely see her meet Malkavian, but I really don't know exactly how long she's going to fit into the series. But my guess is this isn't a one-season shot for her. She's likely going to be a multi-season arc because she's fairly important to a number of different storylines. So let me know in the comments down below what you folks think. How do you think Ispan's going to fit into the storyline, and what do you want her to see? Do you want to see some of the storylines amalgamated? Would you like to see any of the other Black Ajah amalgamated with Ispan? We know we get her, for example, but we haven't heard many other Black Ajah castings just yet, and my guess has always been they'll amalgamate some of them so we won't get a bunch of them on screen at once. We'll have just a few here and there. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so very much for sticking with us here to the very end, and here's to many more.